Hi, I'm Anne Marie, and you are listening to Achieve Spiritual Radio. And today's guest is Adrienne Austin, and that is my cat in the background. Her name is Gitten, and I was trying to get all the animals out. But how are you, Adrienne?
I am great, Annie. Happy New Year. It's the first
Thank
chance I've had to say
you.
it.
Oh, yeah. It's it has to be better than the emotional one last year in some ways, right?
Oh, for me, definitely. Definitely. It was 2016 was definitely a year to bury under a rock and leave there.
But you
Uh,
redesigned your life.
yes, I did. I'm still working on it, but so far happy with the direction it's taking. So, yeah,
There's
been exciting.
Yes, and I think that for a lot of people that are out there with issues in their life that they want to fix, and be able, whether it be weight or relationships, or whether it be smoking or whatever, you have a meditation for us today, and I think that that's going to be a fun one for us. What is it today?
Yes. Well, since we're talking about taking the ability to rewrite our lives in our own hands, I thought I would start with an exercise with literally rewriting our uh, our current situation to create
Okay.
the future that we desire.
Sounds
More of it.
awesome. And I do want to
Oh,
say for all of you who would want to in quick or be able to call into the show, the number is 602-666-6027. And you can get two readings with two Rainbow Crone seers that have been at this a long time. We each have a different kind of reading style, and we are have been at this with over 80 years reading experience combined, right?
yep, yep. We've got it underneath our belts, that's for sure.
Ha! Yeah.
Ah.
So I'm going to give you the full screen and let Bill take her away while you do your meditation. And do anybody that wants to listen, call in. Remember, you can call into the show, and Adrienne and I will read for you with great skill and humor.
Yes, absolutely. You have to have a sense of humor about life or it's already over. Okay. Everybody just sit back in your chair and relax. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything but relax your body, drop your shoulders. Breathe naturally in through your nose, out through your mouth. And I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. You just have to use the theater of your own mind for this exercise. I think you're going to enjoy it. Okay, when I say 3, go ahead and make sure your eyes are closed. 1, 2, 3. I want you to imagine that you're sitting in front of your keyboard, but instead of a screen, you now just have a big ball of fog. Just kind of a mist in front of you hanging there where your screen would normally be. Now, just for fun, to get used to using this machine, and it is a machine, I want you to go ahead and type in white elephant on your keyboard. And as you do, you're going to see the image of a white elephant materialize in front of you where the computer screen would normally be. As you're looking at this elephant floating in air, I want you to notice that it starts to get kind of puffy, like it's made out of marshmallow. And now mentally turn it around, look at it from all angles, and then with a breath of air, blow at it and it will disappear. Okay, now that you've gotten the hang of how to use this, notice that under your left hand is a fast forward button, and under your right hand is your instructions that you're going to give whatever you create here. Now, imagine something that you want to change about yourself or your situation right now. And what does it look like? As you're looking at the screen, fast forward with your left hand, just press the button just a little bit, and imagine what your life would look like, or what your body would look like, or what your health would look like, or your finances would look like if put into a physical image. It can represent anything that you need it to represent. For example, if you want to lose some weight, imagine yourself first as you are in the mirror to yourself, and then materializing in front of you is the same you, only slender, closer to the weight that you desire to be. But even more important, how you feel being the weight you desire. If the issue you want to change is money, perhaps materializing in front of you is the job of your dreams. See yourself doing it. Make a decision right here in this image. Choose something and see yourself doing it successfully. Notice how you feel. The images on your screen shift quickly as you need them to. Now type in what it is you see. Type in how you want it to be. And with every key you click, the image gets stronger in resolution as it rotates in the air in front of you. Under your right hand is another button. Save this image by pressing the button. Remember that you can use this exercise anytime. Remember, it's important to not just visualize and see it materializing in front of you, but also what it feels like to achieve your goal. At the count of 3, you're going to move away from this machine. Remember what it looks like and felt like to use it. It's like a holographic computer available in your mind at any time. Now when I count to 3, go ahead and open your eyes, feeling relaxed and ready to take on the week. One, two, three.
I think I'm getting ready. Thank you, Adrienne. That was awesome. And I want you to know
Glad
that
you enjoyed it.
I accidentally hit that button and it was just perfect.
Yes, it worked out good. Because I like to imagine dancing when I'm not physically
Oh,
dancing.
I know it. I was going
Uh,
to add a little article
mm,
to your hypnotherapy. This is just about 3 ways to rewrite your life story. And you can also use this in addition to Adrienne's hypnotherapy. Of course, and this is always here for you to listen to Adrienne's beautiful meditation and her awesome voice. It
thank
says
you.
we all have a story to tell. Our stories define us even more so than our biographies, which are factual. However, our stories sometimes mingle between actual and what we choose to remember. It is how we remember and retell our stories that shapes our personality and impacts our relationships. And what determines our destiny is oftentimes the way we fashion our stories. While it is always best to err on the side of truth, sometimes we are driven to reshape unhappy experiences, to find a smidgen of the positive in such experiences as trauma from childhood, the pain of infidelity, the sadness of loss, can actually be life preserving. And keep in mind that even what happens to be the perfect life hit bumps in the road may need a bit of reflection. For instance, stop the blame and change the attitude, like Adrienne's meditation about weight and things like anything that you want to change about yourself. John Sanford, in his book Healing and Wholeness, essentially says our life must have a story in order for us to be whole. And this means we must come up against something. Otherwise, the story cannot take place. We can't change our past. But if we stop blaming mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, ex-spouses, or former lovers, we can design our future. And fear and anger that kept us entrapped will no longer deprive us of a good life. For instance, the family drama. Recently, a book by Maggie Scarf called Intimate Worlds: How Families Thrive and Why They Fail captures the reality of families in a way that makes us squirm. Families can be a judgmental group, eh, Adrienne?
Oh my goodness, yes.
She says, I was finding each family's tales of the past, as well as the dilemmas they are struggling with currently, intensely dramatic and compelling. And how could they not be considering that the drama of families, which have to do with loving, losing, power, intimacy, conflict, and the pressure of the past, reassert itself in the present? It seems there is no ideal in families which one member has a hidden agenda, even if she or he is unaware of their need to ignore problems. So the secret in rewriting your life story is to remember that change is difficult. But reality, it is a matter of change and attitude that recasts I'll never forgive or I'm stuck with who I am into a new world. And the secret is to avoid the red flags of negativity. Because I tell you what, I know this for sure. Rewrite your story from a different perspective. We always remember a story a little differently than the way it originally happened. And why not remember your story in a way that empowers you? Put a new twist on it, like hypnotherapy
Yep.
does this with reframing. Reframing is the ability to go back to the past, and though we don't want to go into denial or lying or fabrication, if it helps you to put a new frame around it, do so. Because Mark Twain said, the older I get, the more clearly I remember things that never happened. Perhaps the older I get, the more I am able to put a positive spin on negative events and embrace happiness. Does it work? Try and see for yourself. Listen to Adrienne's meditation. You've got a weight problem, you've got a smoking problem, you've got any problem. Just release it. And I think you'll find that it's much easier to do if you do a little bit of that twist, that redesigning, um, that changing the frame around the past picture. Can you think of anything in your life, Adrienne, in which you had to do that?
Oh, well, when you have bizarre childhood.
Mhm.
You have to, in the retelling of the story, um, there comes a point where you have to, yeah, you have to look at it a little bit differently just so that you can not get sick every time you think of it. Um, for example, reimagining your reaction in a particular situation. For example, if you felt incapable of fighting, then in your reimagining, you fight back.
Mhm.
Um, give yourself the credit, of especially with things that happened a long time ago when you're a little kid and you have no power physically, or you're not prepared emotionally to handle difficult situations. So you have to, in remembering them, at some point, go, all right, I'm done grieving with this or over this. I don't want to have to keep reliving it. So you go back to a place where you were powerless and give yourself the power that you needed. So you may not have
Mhm.
changed the situation really, um, but at least in the safety of your own mind, you've reframed it in a way that it no longer has power over you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I know that my sisters and I had a rough life, just as you did.
Mm,
But remembering that, it's an interesting how my younger sister will remember things as she saw it, so much so that when the spin of my side comes in, she doesn't remember it that way at all. And it's very interesting because I'll say, "But don't you remember?"
mm,
No, no, I don't remember that at all. I'll tell you how it happened for me. And the problem
yeah.
is that she sees it as the wounded self of the past. And
Um,
I see it, and they always called me the rebel. They always said, "You never put up with anything. You always, fought back and stuff." And so consequently, she sees things in a much more wounded way than I do. And
mm,
I think that if I hear the story of our past through my sister's take, I find myself as if I'm reading somebody else's book.
mm,
Even the way she saw me seems to be in a different book. So it's interesting how putting a different frame around it is also letting go of the victim and not feeling sorry for yourself anymore, and seeing yourself as the winner, not as the loser, and holding that like some kind of banner, like some kind of
right, right.
trophy that you need to. um, I think of Mommy Dearest.
Yep,
you
that's a good
know
example.
um
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
made it
luckily,
fast.
I had good years. My first 4 years, actually, my first 7 years or 6 years were pretty good. So I was really lucky in that. So I was able to develop my character, you know, um, in a very sane, organized environment before things got weird.
Mhm.
So I used those happy times when I had confidence and everything to help balance. Um, it's like, well, I know why I didn't do this because that's the kind of kid I was, I was always obedient or, you know, like, oh, I
Mhm.
get it. But it's not, definitely not looking back as a victim, but as victorious.
Mm.
Those are those are my experiences, but they helped shape me. And since I like who I am now, um, I couldn't ask for any of them to be removed. I'm not saying life would have been better without them, but
Mhm.
if that's what it takes to make me who I am now, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I wanted to we both each had a song that kind of was about our take on all this. And um yours is now, what does that song mean to you? I'm going to play some of it.
Well, first of all, I have to make a caveat here because when you were talking music earlier, when I mentioned that song, I wasn't meaning as it applied to the show. I was
Oh,
just saying. I love that song right now, and it's kind of my personal motto right now, or my anthem.
Okay.
"You Are the
And
Voice"
why
by John Farnham.
and is there a reason that is?
Well, yes, it's the political environment. Basically, the way so many Americans are feeling threatened, and the world is feeling threatened. Um, it's the song is a reminder that you, no matter what, you still have a voice, and you need to use it. And violence is not the way.
Okay,
So,
well, we're going to play a little bit of that song, and just a little bit, and then we're going to take
Good
Tina's
evening.
call.
Here is the news.
okay.
We have the chance to turn the pages on. We can write what we want to write. We gotta make ends meet before we get much older. We're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. How long can we look at each other? Down the barrel of a gun. You're the voice, try and understand it. Make the noise and make it clear. Whoa. We're not. Good evening.
Whoa.
Here is the news.
Okay. Um,
Epic song.
yeah, well, the main thing is that it is awesome. I love his voice, and we need to take Tina. We have
Oh,
12
yeah, we've
minutes.
got readings to
12
do.
minutes left to our show, and if you can believe it, and so we need to take her. Tina, how are
Absolutely.
you today, and what can Adrienne read on for you?
I'm doing good.
Good. So what can okay, suddenly we went to 30 minutes. I don't know what's going on here.
It's
Okay.
only 6:26. We've got a half an
Yeah,
hour.
yeah, okay. All right. So Tina, what's up?
Well, I just wanted to get like a better perspective of what I'm going through right now as far as my health and my career is concerned. And back in like the end of November, I hurt myself on my job, and now I'm like unexpectedly out of work. So I'm dealing with that, and I just want to know like what's next for me. Should I start to do what I'm trying to do, which is start my own business, or should I just try to deal with what I can right now?
What was the second choice you're giving yourself?
Just taking it one day at a time, basically just trying to deal with what I can and work on my health and not so much as work on my career, which I'm trying to do both right now, but it's kind of like hard to do both.
Well, you certainly want to make your health the priority here. No health, nothing else is going to fall in line. So your health has to be number one. Number one. As far as starting your own business, even while you're taking care of your health, that doesn't mean you can't be putting things down on paper, collecting numbers, see if it's viable, see if you're going to need a partner or financing or anything else to make it go, because a lot of the shoestring businesses that we try to start, they simply don't have enough money coming in to keep you on top of things, and it becomes a source of stress rather than a source of joy. So I'm still shuffling your cards, but right now I'm already telling you, if you do not have the health on your side, you don't have the strength and the energy to stay optimistic and enthusiastic about your goals. Without that, you're destined to fail, quite honestly.
Yeah.
You can't work through your illness or even your accident, when you're dealing with pain as a distraction or another problem like that, you have to really turn your energy inward right now. I see a lot of you had a great breakthrough recently. This may be in your creative aspects, and that's why you're thinking about doing this own business. And the own business doesn't look like it's alone either, because it looks like without participation of others, it's not going to go anywhere. But it might have a lot to do with others, because I don't know if you can see this card if you're watching the video, but you got a very intense card right now, which is a very positive card. This is talking about centering your energy on yourself, your creativity. Pay attention to your gut, in other words. Your gut is going to lead you in the right direction. You'll immediately register in your stomach area or your solar plexus whether your decision or choice is good for you right now or bad for you. So if you just every time you want to do something, ask yourself a yes/no question and see how you feel in your gut. You need to really pay attention to that right now. Then I do see you taking a short trip to visit a friend. Or be with friends, which is a really nice thing. It doesn't necessarily healing process.
I'm sorry.
So
You kind of broke
go
up
ahead.
there. Adrienne, you want to repeat that one?
I hear you.
The last part of it,
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
see you. I see you if you do focus on your creativity and paying attention to all of the signs that you feel in your gut. You're also going to take a short trip, maybe just to visit a friend or somebody in the family, but it's a friendly visit. It's nothing. I don't want to say nothing to write home about. It's significant enough to come up in your cards, but it's more of a part of your journey in feeling better, moving toward your goals as well. But health is first, and your ideas seem to be pretty good according to the cards as well. So I'm not saying give up. I'm just saying make sure your priorities are straight here. Your health first, and then your business.
Now, question: will my relationship play a part in my business as well?
I
Why don't
didn't.
Do you want me to take over from here, Adrienne, and
Well,
just
I
kind
can just
of?
say, yeah, I did not. Yeah, go if you want. I did not see a relationship in this particular layout. No, I was looking at your health and business. So take it from here, Annie.
Okay, so what is the name of the person you want a relationship reading on?
Brandon.
Brandon. So I'm going to look at how Brandon feels about you at this time and what Brandon's intentions are in helping you out in the future. Okay?
Okay.
So when I look at Brandon, the first thing that comes up says, Brandon thinks you're a beautiful person. I also see that one or both of you seems to be in a very comfortable home or career situation. But I also show him being a little cautious, as there seems to be a legal issue or something that is kind of on the verge of creating some big changes in his life. What does this have to do with you? And if I look at that, what that has to do with you is he's going through a whole life chapter change himself. B, it seems as if he has to definitely commit and be responsible to what's going on around him. And whether that's with you or whether that is with this other situation that's going on in the background, there seems to be a sense that he's very aware that you've been going through some insecurities lately. Brandon also feels that what you had in the past was very intense, but it shows that one or both of you seems to be in this imprisoning life or family or relationship that they have a hard time getting out of. So if Brandon or you is locked into another relationship, it's going to make it hard for this to get off the ground in a way that would help you, because I show that as he stays locked in his imprisoning situation, it makes it harder for him to be able to step up to the plate for you. So, in other words, the question was, is Brandon a part of your future in helping you to get through? I'm going to say no, he is not. The sense is that whatever he is involved in seems to be he's kind of living two ways at once. One part of him is living one side of his life, which is about keeping to the straight and narrow so he doesn't get in trouble. The other side seems to be messing around and having fun. And it says this is exactly what may be causing Brandon issues is he needs to man up and he needs to decide which side of the coin he's going to go to. Otherwise, he's living a lie. And most of all, you don't want to fall for someone that's all talk and no action. So be careful. Rely on yourself. Remember, this is your life and you need to design it the way that is comfortable for you. Also remember, please do go after what you're good at for your job, what you think you can do self-employed. What was it you wanted to do?
I wanted to start a food truck.
A food truck. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have the truck?
No, not yet. He owns a trucking company. He was thinking about opening a food truck as well or whatever.
Okay, so what you wanted to know is if Brandon is going to be allowing or making you part of a partnership of the food truck business, correct?
Oh, no. Just what you told me is what I was wanted to hear.
Okay. All right. Thank you, and hang in there.
Thank you.
Good luck, hon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we have Trent, and Trent wants to know. Do you know Trent?
No, not offhand.
Okay. Trent says he would like to have a general reading, and he's in quick. So if you would like to start that out, you can go ahead.
Well, you're the fastest drawer in the West, so.
Annie Oakley.
Yeah, because it's going to take me a minute here to get these shuffled. I didn't want to make a lot of noise while you were talking.
Oh, okay. Trent, here I'm going to go fast on this one so that we can get Adrienne into the picture here. Trent, what have you been so down about? Your reading says that depression is the first card I get on you. It says also that you just need to put one step in front of the other and focus on your goals as your therapy for yourself to get out of this funk you've been feeling. It says you've been desperately feeling like you want to go back to something that you used to be a part of. And when I look at what was it that you were a part of, it says happiness. You felt as if you were happier. So your reading says, as Adrienne and I said before, sometimes we just have to climb out of our pity party or out of the way we see things in the past. If this is a problem with depression or with, a natural problem you have, please do take care of that so that you can climb back on the horse. I'm also shown that there's somebody you desperately want back in your life, Trent, and that you feel as if this person were back in your life, you could be happy again. But your reading says, Trent, right now, the last thing you want to, it's like you want to be happy, but yet you can't seem to find a way to change what's going on in your life to get that happiness. And it says something has been pressuring you that you need and want to be man up and be able to take control of your life and your choices. And most of all, you feel a very deep spiritual connection with this special person in your life that it says you would like to perhaps get back with. But it says take care of your depression, Trent. There's no sense in dragging anyone down the rabbit hole. Make sure that you get yourself back on track. And if this was about just finding yourself back in the swing again, then do what you can and to focus one step at a time on your goals, whether they be creative or whether they be something else. And that will help you to feel that sense of confidence in yourself, and one step at a time, and I believe you'll get your life back together. And that's what comes through, Trent. So what do you have, Adrienne?
Well, I have not so much depression as perhaps disappointment at having to postpone something that you were planning on doing, or a place that you were going to be in an emotional place, perhaps, because it's following the card of understanding, which is an interesting card. It's the realization, something that might have happened very recently, the realization that you're not as trapped or as in a cage as possible. In fact, I would have to illustrate it as getting out of a bad relationship and being grateful for it, even if it means maybe postponing, feeling like you have to postpone your happiness until you find the right person again, or, as Annie said, get back together with somebody. It does seem like there's a relationship in here because of this sense of getting out of jail, a sense of kind of a freedom at the same time being postponed. So it's interesting. Bottom line is what I really have you doing right now is contemplating your possibilities to go left, to go right. What on earth should you do? It shouldn't be so much about depression, but thoughtfulness. You may not want to talk while you're thinking things through. Matter of fact, you even got the card of silence saying this is not a time for you to be talking. Now's a time for you to be meditating, thinking about it. But here is the advice. No matter what it is that you are going through or what decision you finally make, bottom line is, if you want to be successful, if you want things to go the way you really want them to go, you have to commit totally. You can't do halfway situations. If you're going to do a job, then you do the job right. If you're going to start a new gig or fall in love, then do it with all of you, with an open heart. And if things have to be postponed for a little while, whether it's a relationship, marriage, anything like that, don't let the postponement of it make you feel like it's the end of the world, because it's definitely not. Keep going, and you'll make the right decisions. Trust yourself.
I'm going to add to that in complimenting your reading. I have on the angel message, it says that this is the time to have courage, that one of the things you need to remember is just be courageous, stand up for what you believed in, and if you find in the process you were wrong about something, stand up and admit it. But one way or the other, everything that's happened for a reason, and it was to teach you a lesson, or to teach, or to fall into your life journey as to find yourself and stand up for yourself, be courageous, and you will find that in the process, peace comes from remembering that only love is real, and that if you truly loved somebody or you truly love something, that you left behind you, remember, be courageous. Stand up for yourself. Stand up to the lesson, and everything will fall in place. And that's what I see.
I hope
So,
that was helpful, Trent.
and I want to say, what have you been doing with your life lately, Adrienne? And what is it that you have been doing on your show? Tell us about it.
Oh, well, wow. Okay, well, I started writing the second Namaris book, finally.
Ah,
Got the outline down, so I'm looking forward to really getting into the meat of that. And it's going to be called Namaris in the Beginning. The first book was Namaris, The Edge of Remembering, as you remember.
awesome book.
Yeah, well, this is kind of a sequel, but not a sequel. You don't have to read the first one to get the second one.
Yeah.
Let's see. I moved to Pennsylvania. I got to see my Irish boyfriend. He flew out from Ireland to join me for a couple of weeks in Florida. So it was great. I got to see my mom get declared cured of pancreatic cancer.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep. They declared her, I think this is her 8th or 9th year cancer-free, and only 4% of pancreatic cancer patients make it. So we owe great intuition on her part and speed of treatment at Sloan Kettering for her survival at age 84 and a half.
Oh, wow. Wow. It
Yeah,
seems
so,
like more and more people are being cured of cancer. And is your mom a positive person?
my mom's positive, but she also has a great advantage. My mom has always been anti-pill. She just survived a systemic E. coli infection where she was not even lucid. She was going in and out of lucidity. She was in the hospital for 5 days at age 84 and a half.
Wow.
The reason that she survived is because she was always against antibiotics, so she didn't take them. So when the time came when she really needed them, they worked. She was
Isn't
getting
that the
antibiotics.
truth? Especially they say now that the new infections are completely resistant to antibiotics.
Yeah,
So,
they're
yeah.
superbugs. But unfortunately, we owe people who are taking too many antibiotics, or really what they do is they take an antibiotic for a virus which doesn't work, but it makes them more resistant to bacteria. And then people get like 10 days course, for example, of antibiotic, and they feel better after day 3 or 4. And so they stop taking it. When they stop taking it and don't run the whole course, they create a superbug. So it just makes it harder and
Oh,
harder. Yeah,
interesting.
that's
That's
how
how
it
that happens.
happens. Yep. So it's like
Wow.
once you start a course of antibiotics, whatever the doctor prescribed, you did it for a reason. It's because they've already proven this is the way the drug is going to work in most people. So as long as you don't have an allergy to it, what the doctor prescribes as far as an antibiotic is concerned, if it's not a viral infection, then he's given that to you or she's giving that to you for a good reason. Finish the whole course. Don't analyze yourself and say, I feel better, and stop.
Yeah, and
And
that's what I do. That's what I do. Whenever I very seldom take or need one, but it seems like I'm always thinking less is best.
no, when it comes to antibiotics, you better finish the whole course so that you make sure that your body has time to develop antibodies against what you just fought off. And if you're just dropping it, then you're cutting the cycle off. And if you do that, then you're going to end up creating something that's very resistant, or rather, it's going to make you more susceptible. And also another thing is a lot of people get colds and they insist the doctor give them something for it. And a cold is a virus, and it may stink, but you have to go through it. And there's lots of medications that'll make you feel better during it, but it still has to run its course because that's how viruses are. And if you take antibiotics, you're just taking something that has absolutely no use against a virus. And
I
you,
get
there you
it.
go.
I get
You
it.
make you make yourself more resistant. And so a lot of people that could have survived a lot of infections that are not really that severe on their own have now become severe because we can't fight them off. So never take anything unless the doctor tells you to, and make sure you finish your medicine
Make
unless
sure
you have a
you
bad
finish your
reaction,
medicine.
Well,
Oh,
I'm the same way, less is more, but see, my mother proved less is more, but that means right from the start, either you take it or you don't. If you take it, commit to the whole program, and if you don't, good for you. Make your immune system stronger.
got
So
it.
that's it.
I wanted to let people know that there is a book out called Designing Your Life: How to Build a Well-Lived, Joyful Life, and it's by Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. Go to the blog for today's show. It is on the Amazon link is there, and it will.
That's good.
It said one of the things it says I guess it was written. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it says. At last, a book that shows you how to build or design a life you can thrive in at any age or stage. Designers create words and solve problems using design thinking. Look around your office or home at the tablet or smartphone you may be holding. Um, and then it says, everything in our lives was designed by someone, and every design starts with a problem that a designer or a team of designer seeks to solve. And in this book, they relate that to solving your own problems and basically kind of going into the same stuff we've been talking about. So I wanted to I read for somebody today another Rainbow Crone,
Oh,
a
cool.
wonderful, another lovely lady, and she had been going through the issue of being somebody that is always the backbone of everybody's. How do I say that? In every work environment and in every creative environment, there's that person that is supposed to be not the leader as much as the calm force that keeps everybody going.
Right, the morale team, one in
The,
one person.
yeah, and that she had found that in her life, she was really wanting to dump some of the things that she had been the morale booster on. And now she was going through this hell where she felt that she just wanted to go. And she said the more that she felt trapped, the more she wanted to be free. And the more that she wanted to be free, the guiltier she felt. So
Uh,
I kind of I told her to listen to the song by the Eagles, Almost There or Almost Gone. And
almost
this
gone.
is that
Already
song.
gone.
Well, I heard some people talking just the other day, and they said you were gonna put me on a shelf. But let me tell you, I got some news for you, and you'll soon find
heart goes out to her, and
Yeah.
to just feel good about sometimes walking away. One of the lines on that song is that we sometimes walk around in our life thinking that we're in a jail, and all the time we really had the key to get out. So I guess you just have to remember that that's the way it is in life, and so be it.
Yeah. And we can't let our egos fool us into thinking that, everything depends on us. Um, because that really sets us up for being unhappy, always sacrificing when it's not being called for, making ourselves believe that we are indispensable and the weight of the world
That's
rests on
it
our
right
shoulder.
there. That's it. It's kind of an ego thing to keep us going if we think that everything relies on us to be the mediator.
Right. And we
So
make
in
it horrible for ourselves.
hmm and then then we get more and more and more trapped into a really crappy thing that makes us unhappy. So um, I admire you, Adrienne. I admire that you took off from something that you felt was a prison, and
Oh, yeah.
I feel that there's a lot of people in, whether it be work, weight, smoking, um, exercise. Uh, I tell you what I felt today. Today I was looking at the ice everywhere, ice, ice,
Oh,
ice, and it was in the trees shimmering, and I'm
oh,
looking at my three hyper dogs. So I'm thinking, oh golly, I've got a new puppy, and the puppy's head
oh,
comes to my stomach, and he's a Great Pyrenees, and he's more like a um, zestful calf running in the house. And with
oh.
this ice and all this stuff, my dogs are getting hyper. So I thought, well, I don't want to, but today I'm going to walk the dogs. So the first thing that happens, I walk the retriever, I fall on my face. And I fall, and she's my pillow, and I'm madder than hell. And I'm thinking, I wanted to do this for you guys. Then I get up, then I go out, and I strap on the calf, the dog, the Pyrenees, onto a chain, and I let the Siberian Husky run beside us into the back 40. He sees a rabbit. He takes off a running down the road towards the school buses. And
Oh,
here's the calf running and jumping, and I'm like, oh, oh, behind it. And I'm thinking, I'm getting madder and madder and madder.
oh,
And then the bunny rabbit comes towards me, and I thought of the Alice in Wonderland, because he had this huge pupil dilated look as he was running into the mouth of my puppy, running from the Siberian. And the whole time I'm feeling very sorry for myself, and I'm thinking, look what I've done for you guys. I did this for you. Then I realized it took me at least a half an hour to calm down, and they were like in the corner going, oh God, she's really pissed off at us. She's really pissed off. And then I realized I did that to myself. I ended up making it worse by thinking that I had to do something to make others happy, you know? And what did I do?
oh, you made a
I
lot of
made
false pressure for yourself. And
oh, I made this, and I could have ended up with broken out teeth and everything else. So
yeah,
for all,
yeah.
for all of you that missed Adrienne's meditation, I just want to say that you have to go back and listen to it. It's awesome. It's very
Oh, thank
calming,
you.
and it's also sometimes when a lot of people they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear. They don't want to hear people tell them that they need to change their lives. But if you hear it on a meditation like that, it's your choice, and you're hearing it from
Always.
a calm voice, and so it's your job. You can redesign your weight, exercise, smoking, love life, whatever,
It's
and
totally voluntary, completely
volunteering.
voluntary.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know if there's any last words that you want to say about life, or anything that you feel that you learned this week that you that hits you, or?
Well, I had a very good reminder this week, and it's about the law of attraction. And it's very simple in the principle that there is no such thing as no. The more you rail against something, the more you are helping strengthen it. So if something is upsetting you in the news, in the world, in the family, with your friends, then you can't ignore it, and you shouldn't. But it is important for you not to push against it and make it stronger. Instead, try to send the exact opposite. Send the fact that it's there, it is, you see it, and you accept that it exists. And do not spend all your energy with anger and things that are just going to make it worse. If you can't actually feel love for the situation, at least try to make yourself neutral
All
while
right.
you observe.
Bye, baby girl. See you 3
Bye,
weeks from
baby.
now.
Thank you for having me. And Happy New
Bye-bye.
Year, everybody.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Odell at Achieve Radio's Tarot Joy. Come on upstairs. Grab yourself a tapestried pillow and get a down-home, honest reading with 30 years Master Tarot channeling experience. In addition, I will have a weekly spiritual guest from around the world. That's 2 readings per call for you. After the show, I invite you to come on over